For this house that was just sold, I would say it's very special because it's what I would call a dual key maisonette. Honestly, my first time seeing this in Singapore.
百万元组屋越来越多，难免让人担忧，组屋是不是还负担得起？
We are the victims of the already spoiled post-COVID market, considering that prices were hundreds of thousands of dollars cheaper in the past.
现在连三房式组屋也有人要价100万，是不是在漫天开价？
我直接跟屋主讲，你给我卖，我帮你试卖100万。屋主听了兴奋嘛，签了3个月合同就给他卖。
转售组屋以100万元以上的价格易手的新闻不断登上报纸版面。现在的组屋是不是真的很容易就能卖上100万元？他们真有这么大的魅力，让人舍得花大钱？我带着这个疑问，找到了曾经卖出100万元组屋的房地产经纪，寻找答案。
Hi Natasha, we are here at your seller's estate where they managed to sell their million-dollar resale. But can you briefly introduce to us what are some of the million-dollar features of this estate? How come your sellers are able to fetch such a high price for their unit?
Firstly, welcome to Bishan. I would say Bishan is a very highly sought after estate in Singapore. It has excellent connectivity and top-notch amenities. So it's very popular amongst families especially because there are 3 very highly sought after schools in the area. On top of that, there's also Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park. So it's perfect for nature lovers. And for units over here on like middle to higher floors, they have a beautiful greenery view of Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park. Perhaps most million-dollar flats need to have like an X factor. For this house that was just sold, I would say it's very special because it's what I would call a dual key maisonette. So, maisonettes, they are usually 2 stories. By dual key, I mean that there's a main door entrance on both the lower floor and the upper floor.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's very, very special. It's honestly my first time seeing this in Singapore.
碧山一直是100万组屋交易最多的地区之一，但这并不表示那里所有的组屋都能要价100万元。为什么？我跟着 Natasha 到碧山的另一处，听她解释。
Natasha, we are here at another corner of Bishan, Sin Ming Road. But why is it more difficult for units within this estate to fetch a similar price? Especially when, most of the units here are also 4-room like where we were at previously.
Just by observation, you can kind of tell that this area doesn't quite have the same level of development and accessibility as compared to the previous estate that we were in. A second point that I can think of is that the buildings over here are slightly older. So the block that we're at now is around almost 20 years older than the previous block that we're at. So the number of lease that it has left is lesser as well. And thirdly, I guess in terms of reputation, Sin Ming is very well known to be an industrial area. So it's very popular for Sin Ming Industrial Park. So right now, a lot of people associate it as an industrial area. So it might not be the top choice for like families. But at the same time, we can see that there are some BTOs coming up. So perhaps with the place becoming more vibrant, it could lead to higher transactions in the future.
第一间100万元转售组屋，2012年在女皇镇出现，数量逐年增加，尤其在过去3年以倍数增加，也开始遍布其他市镇。不过必须强调，即使到现在，100万元组屋还是只占交易总量的极少数。2023年有26735个组屋单位转售，100万元组屋有470个，占总量大约1.8%。论房型，100万组屋以5房式居多，占大约43%，公寓式占大约30%，4房式有26%，3代同堂和排屋式组屋则各占少过1%。
There are various forces in the market that actually contribute to the growth of the number of million-dollar flats. One of them is just inflation. Secondly, is basically our population is growing also. So a growing population means there is more household and greater demand for real estate. The third one is actually growing household income. And with a larger household income, the typical household is able to afford slightly more expensive property as well. Another factor is actually also the growing prices of private properties. Now, typically in a certain town, let's say take Bishan for example, if a household wants to buy a resale 99-year mass market condominium, and they will typically have to pay, right now the median price is roughly about $2 million. And as a result, some of the buyers turn to the resale market.
组屋能叫价100万元不是理所当然，肯定是因为条件好。屋主能够以100万元将组屋卖出套现，心里头打的又是怎样的一种算盘呢？经过几番尝试，我和 Natasha 成功说服一位卖出100万元组屋的前屋主，以匿名方式现身说法。
Because this become an empty nest to us. We stayed there for 33 years. So basically, after deducting 33 from 99, we're left with 66 years lease left. Our kids used to stay with us, and since most of them already married, and we're left with only 2 old folks, and we feel that we don't need such a big place, especially our current, or rather the previous house is a maisonette, which we need to walk up and down, and as age catches up, we find there are some difficulties. So that is one of the main reasons why we are looking to sell it, move to a smaller, more convenient single-level house. We think at 1.5 should be a reasonable rate because if the neighboring unit are selling 1.8, so I think 1.5 is a reasonable amount, neither too high or low,
When it comes to the pricing of the unit, right, who gets to have the final call?
I would say the final decision always lies with the seller. However, as the agent, it's my responsibility to also equip them with things like market insights, comparable sales, and like past data to help guide them on their decision. Sometimes we will advise the clients to relook at the price that is listed at. It could be slightly too high, and lowering the price could lead to a faster sale. In Singapore, this process is also regulated by CEA, the Council of Estate Agencies, who would monitor the market to make sure that there are no listings that are priced unreasonably. So if there's a listing that is priced extremely high, that is very unreasonable, CEA will actually inform us agents to perhaps adjust the price. This is to ensure that there's fairness in the market.
跟转售市场大多数单位比较，100万元组屋毕竟还是贵得多。买家到底需要多大决心才舍得付出高价？我辗转找到一对最近买下100万元组屋的30多岁夫妇，请他们匿名分享心得。
The flat that we bought is in the Boon Keng area. It is a 4-room HDB flat, 1,000 square feet, with 92 years left on the lease.
The price tag was daunting, but it was justified given the unique characteristics of that unit and our positive reactions.
The reason we made this purchase was because the house genuinely fulfilled many of the criteria that we wanted in terms of location, amenities, and characteristics of the house, for example, the windows and the sunlight. Those made us really happy to find something that fulfilled all the criteria, which was why we made the purchase. Moreover, we also already calculated our financial thresholds, and this unit was within our means. As for negotiating on the price, we could not negotiate for a lower price because most of the competition had already bidded at the listed price.
We were honestly quite fortunate that our seller and our realtor, they were very genuine people. They just saw that we were a genuine party, and when we outbid the other buyer just once, they immediately gave it to us, just seeing that we are genuine. And they didn't start a price war.
For this purchase, we are the victims of the already spoiled post-COVID market, considering that prices were hundreds of thousands of dollars cheaper in the past.
100万元起跳的转售组屋，向来都是空间大的公寓式、5房式或至少是4房式单位。不过奇怪的是，我在房地产网站上看到了一些3房式组屋也要价100万。我尝试向3位负责销售的经纪了解，但他们都以各种理由拒绝受访。
如果可以的话，我觉得这个我们就暂时不做这个采访吧，因为第一就是我公司有可能不允许我这样做，第二就是那个是我朋友的屋子，所以我也觉得我不应该这样实行啦。对不起，玄彬。
目前三房式组屋的最高成交纪录是87万元，要价100万，难免让人觉得漫天开价。对此，我找上了小型房产公司 Home Seller 的创办人 Patrick， 他的销售团队成立6年来，多次达成100万元组屋的交易，对市场行情自有一番见解。我向他请教，这样的要价到底合不合理？
在这一区，我敢讲，在5年内肯定卖不到。
就是5年内卖不出100万元的
100万
三房式，
因为它的估价还没有到达，卖价跟估价有分别嘛，因为你卖价跟估价不符合的话，就会有产生一个 COV。打个比方，可能 Dawson、McNair 那种地方，那种顶楼的，可能最高77万到85万左右，所以你要突破100万，就代表第一那个挑战，我要找到一个买家还你这个 record price 100万。第二的挑战就是这个买家有没有10万到20万来还这个 COV。以我们的经验，三房式没有，5房式都少之又少了，老实说。所以说你讲100万，以现在的行情应该还是达不到的。为什么会有这种100万的 listing 跑出来？第一个说法，屋主要卖屋子的时候，他们会找几个中介聊。我为了拿你这个 listing， 我要满足屋主的什么条件？其一就是谁能帮我卖高嘛。所以如果我是那个中介，真的很想拿这个 listing 的时候，我知道其他的中介应该会建议屋主卖70多万到80多万左右。我直接跟屋主讲，你给我卖，我帮你试卖100万。屋主听了兴奋嘛，签了3个月合同就给他卖，这个是其一。其二，有些屋主就是他自己本身就想，我想试100万。这个中介为了拿这个 listing， 他也不敢反驳屋主嘛。有些屋主就是因为没有那个correct 的 information， 所以造成了他们浪费了时间，登了这个价钱，浪费了2-3个月卖不出，然后才调整价钱，那时已经太迟了，可能那个市场开始转变了。
Going forward, we may actually see more 4-room flats being transacted at such a high price. One reason is because the government has stopped supplying 5-room flats in their BTO projects that are within the central region. So going forward, we could actually see not just a growing number of 4-room flats, but there might even be some smaller flats that could be testing that million-dollar benchmark, like 3-room flats, for example. It will definitely grab headlines, and it could be a bit disruptive because there will be ripple effect on the rest of the market. But the government is also pushing up a large supply, almost on average, almost 20,000 flats a year for the last 3 years. And hopefully this can help to cool the market. So yes, there is basically market forces that is pushing up the prices, but we must also keep in mind that the number of million-dollar flats is still a minority, about 2 to 3% of the overall transactions, although they do grab headlines. To put it in another way, it's like, oh, Singapore won a few Olympic gold medals, but it doesn't mean that every Singaporeans are capable of winning Olympic gold medals.